with her speech titled Once Upon a Time. So the aim of Megan's speech was to practice using a story within a speech, or giving a speech that is a story. And I think Megan did a very good job of that, as she included 3 stories within her speech, which was excellent. Megan's clarity was really good. She spoke really clearly, a reasonably good pace. It was a little bit fast in some parts, but generally overall it was pretty good pace. Megan used good vocal variety throughout her speech when she was explaining different parts of the story and emphasising certain parts and then pulling back on others, so that was excellent. Megan had good eye contact, although I did notice a few times during some of the stories you were looking at the ground a little bit, but generally overall you made great eye contact with everyone in the room. Megan's hand gestures. Now Megan loves using hand gestures, which really emphasises the story, which is great. But I did find at some points you were doing this one a little bit too much. So maybe during some of the stories or some parts of the speech, maybe do something else with your hands, because it was a lot of this sort of stuff, when that could have been used in certain parts to emphasise bits, but not during the whole story. Megan was very comfortable with the audience, and I think the audience was pretty well engaged with the stories. Megan had a great organisation of her speech, so a really good intro. You came out and explained what you were going to do as part of your speech, and then you talked about those 3 short stories, and I loved how they all had a moral, so that was really good. So to challenge yourself in the future, Megan, like I said, I think maybe the hand gestures, maybe do a little bit different. And at one point I did notice you came back and looked at your notes, but that was minor. And maybe not look at the ground as much during the speech. But overall, that was a really good speech, and great use of storytelling within the speech with the morals to the story. It was really entertaining, so thank you.